Hi, my name is Morgan. I'll be doing a love reading today for the sign of Libra, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus. So let's just see what's going on with Libra in love and what needs to come out will come out. This message is intended to be timeless, so whenever you're guided to watch this reading is when you're guided to watch it. So let's go ahead and jump into this. What's going on for Libra, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus in love at this time? Okay, so first coming out, we have keys on a ring and hammer with addiction. So I feel like someone's a little addicted to self-sabotage, or maybe that they find themselves in self-sabotaging relationships or situations here, where like maybe you dated the same kind of person over and over again. Like maybe you're addicted to people who just can't give you what you want, or like you keep getting dropped in love here. Because I feel like you might be chasing after emotionally unavailable people, or people who just want a good time while you're here for a long time. But they're like, I feel like you're finding people who aren't on the same page as you, and people who don't really want what you want in love here. Also, you may be someone who gets a little excited about love, like really easily, or like when you meet someone, you're like, oh, I really hope this is the one, or like maybe, you know, this might go somewhere. And like, and I feel like maybe you're like, you come on too strong, but not that you mean to, but I think you just get excited. And I feel like that's off-putting to people. So maybe your energy is just like really strong and like in your face, kind of like really excited, and that I just think maybe people find that off-putting. But I feel like this is a cycle of like I feel like you keep meeting the same kinds of people, and if you're meeting the same kinds of people, it kind of like means there's something within you that needs to be fixed, or like not necessarily fixed, but like something like a pattern that needs to be worked on. Maybe you're a codependent person where like maybe you feel like you can't be single, or like you don't really want to be single, you really want to find someone to date. And but the advice here is kind of to pull back a little bit and to I would explore that need as well. Like, why do you feel like you need to have someone in your life? Because that could point to, I feel like someone also has like attachment issues here. Like I feel like you're an anxious, preoccupied attachment as well. And I think that may be part of the reason why you're having bad luck in love, is because of your attachment style. So I would encourage you to look up on that. If you're unfamiliar with attachment styles, there's some quizzes online where you can find out what your attachment style is, and that may be able to point you in the right direction concerning what's going on here. But tell me about addiction. Tell me about addiction. And with addiction, it says codependent, obsession, possession, controlling, has a block, restraint. So what came out? We have the Six of Earth, which is the Six of Pentacles, and the Two of Earth, which is the Two of Pentacles. So I feel like you're someone who really wants to work with other people, or like I feel like you have a really big heart and you have a lot of love to give, but you're finding, I feel like you're having a hard time balancing this, where I feel like maybe you're someone who gives too much in relationships, or like you're really, I feel like you're a giver, but that's not necessarily a bad thing, but it can be if you're not taking the time and making the space to receive yourself. And I feel like maybe you're someone who likes to take care of people, or you're someone who like really wants to help other people grow, and you want to like I feel like you're doing too much though. Like it feels like maybe you're giving excessively, hoping to receive something back. And that is, I mean, you really shouldn't give with the expectation to receive, because that's not really like true giving. That's like kind of like manipulation, not like necessarily, it can be malicious, but it's not always malicious. But I feel like with codependency, if you're doing favors for other people, expecting them to return the favor, you're only doing the favor expecting to get the favor. So I feel like like, I don't feel like you're giving from the heart. You're giving because you need something. You know what I mean? And that might be worth exploring within yourself. But I feel like you're someone who, like, I don't know, I just feel like it's like too much, but not necessarily in a bad way, but I just mean that, like, it's just codependent. And a codependent relationship is not one that you necessarily want either, just because it can be mutually harmful to both parties as well. But I feel like your maybe relationships aren't like going anywhere because you're kind of stuck in this negative energy pattern as well. It's kind of like self-sabotage, but not necessarily in like I feel like this is something that like maybe you weren't aware of, or like I feel like it's like deep rooted in childhood kind of thing, where you maybe had codependent parents, or like I feel like this was just how you learn to express yourself. But I feel like it's an old pattern that kind of needs to be addressed and kind of needs to be worked through in order to find lasting relationships. Because with codependent behavior also comes like well, how other people define you, and how your worth comes from how helpful you can be to other people, but your self-worth does not come from how helpful you are to other people. And I feel like maybe you were taught that like if you're not giving, you're worthless, and that's not the case. But I feel like someone has like a like they feel that way about themselves. Tell me more about keys on a ring. Tell me more about keys on a ring, which stands for many options, decision, unconventional, string along, one night stand. I feel like you may be finding partners who are who kind of love bomb you as well. Like they seem like such a great guy, and like you know them for a little bit and you're like, wow, they're so great, they're so amazing. But I feel like it's because they're not being authentic. I feel like they're like intending to, like, they just want something from you, and they're just gonna say whatever they can to get it, and to get it fast. And then once they have it, they're gone. So if you find partners like that, or have that's been your pattern, it's time to explore that as well. So we have the Four of Fire and the Emperor here. So you also may be connecting with an Aries, or maybe you have Aries somewhere in your chart, but also Aries is like the natural opposite of Libra as well. So I really get strong Aries energy with these two cards as well. So maybe you have Aries somewhere in your chart, or someone you're connecting with is an Aries. But with the Four of Fire, I feel like you're going out. I feel like you're having a good time with people, or like maybe you meet people at like parties or gatherings or kind of things going on. But with the Emperor here, I really get the need to have control in this situation. I feel like this is like the need to kind of step up and take control, like grab the reins, grab the bull by the horns of this situation. Because I feel like your energy is kind of scattered. I feel like you're like, you may be on dating apps or like constantly talking to new people, and like wanting to, like, this is the energy of like wanting to connect really badly. And I feel like the Emperor here is like the need to kind of rein it in and kind of take control of the situation. I understand codependency because I've struggled with it myself. Codependency kind of like, it looks a lot different in a lot of different ways. So if you think you might be a codependent person, in the sense that you go out of your way to, you put others' needs above your own constantly, or like your self-worth depends on how helpful you are to other people or what other people think of you, it might be time to start exploring that and maybe start talking to someone about that, like a therapist or a psychologist, or like someone who can help you work through that, because your self-worth does not like how other people see you does not really define how you are, because how codependency like develops is also usually related to childhood and kind of like the role you're placed in regards to your parents, or like maybe you felt the need to, like, maybe you were kind of parentified as a kid where like you were in charge of other people's emotions, and like maybe in regards to your parents, or like maybe you were placed into like a therapist role, so now like you always feel like you have to be like the bigger person, or like be in charge, or like that like you feel the need to like like, I'm getting like control issues with this, but it feels like if I don't manage it, no one else will. So I have to take that upon myself. And like, but with a healthy relationship, you won't have to. And so I feel like it's time to explore that, and it's time to really to acknowledge it for what it is and take control of it, is how I feel as well. Tell me about the hammer. With sabotage, rebuilding, interrogation, repetitive, persistent, working on it. Maybe you have, someone has told you, or like you have come to the conclusion that you are codependent and you're starting to work on this. Or if you haven't realized it yet that you are codependent, it's time to really, do a reflection and see if like you fit into that bill. Like, I would really recommend taking a quiz online. They're not like diagnostic quizzes, but like it might give you a general idea of like the kind of questions that pop up, or like, do you see yourself in like a explanation, that it might be time to really explore that as well. Okay. So what came out for the hammer? We have the Devil, which is temptation in this deck, which is also Capricorn energy. And then we have the Ace of Water. So I really feel like, the Devil is, it's not only temptation, but it's like in excess. It can be codependency, quite literally. And it's also like, I feel like it can also be like being chained to something, but I feel like you're really deep stuck in this pattern. And like, I feel like you've just met people and like find relationships with people who keep perpetuating the same pattern of, I need to take care of them, or like I'm responsible for their emotions, or like I have to make them happy so I can be happy. But like, it doesn't have to be that way. It's time to break free of this devil. And like, the way that you do that is by loving yourself, is by pouring into your own cup, is by you defining your own self-worth, is by, like I said, just pouring into yourself and like realizing that your self-worth does not come from how helpful you are. It does not come from how other people see you. You define it. You set the limit. How much you are worth is set by yourself. I feel like someone has really low self-esteem too. And like, I totally get that. And like, that's also a sign of codependency. And it's time to start working on that. They have like workbooks too for codependency, about like pouring into yourself, and like some self-love workbooks. Because I feel like your self-love is like really lacking right now, especially if you feel like you need to be in a relationship. Like, maybe you have like a fear of like being alone, in the sense that like, I'm terrified that I'm not lovable and that no one will ever love me, but that's not the case either. But it just is you're meeting people that perpetuate this cycle, who say you're not good enough, or that you're not fitting the bill, but it's just because you have a deep-seated wound that needs to be healed here. Like, your soul, your heart is calling out to you saying, please help me. I need you to pick me up. And that's one of the things that it's not something anyone else can fix. It's something that you have to give to yourself. And I feel like you really learn this from either a bad relationship, or like from childhood with a bad relationship with your parents. Cause like, if you had a parent that like put you down a lot, or like, just made you feel like you weren't good enough unless you were doing the things that they wanted you to do, kind of thing, then this is something that needs to be explored. It needs to be healed right now. So that way you can have a healthy relationship. You can have a relationship where you don't have to show up in this way, and it'll be good. Because the key is to finding someone who's healed, but someone who's healed will look at this energy and be off-put by it, because it doesn't fit their bill, or like it doesn't, a healthy person wants a healthy relationship. And if you're stuck in this unhealthy energy, it's going to take some work to get out of it. And I feel like now is the time, like, especially if you're constantly dating and like just looking for someone to fix you, it's time to stop. It's time to really focus on yourself. And once you do, you're going to feel so much better. Like, you're giving your power away by having other people define you. In the world, let me tell you, the world is like a pawn shop, right? If you go somewhere and like, you're like, oh, tell me how much I'm worth, they're going to sell you short. Only you can define your worth. Don't let the world sell you short, because they will cheat you at every opportunity. Okay. It is time to really stand in your power and give it to yourself, because you are worth it and you deserve it. Let's see, is there anything else that's coming out that I need to disclose for Libra in this situation? Is there anything else that Libra needs to know? I want to get 3. I feel like I need to get 3. Okay. So we have the 7 of Air, which is the 7 of Swords, which is all about deception or like not being true. But in this deck specifically, it's about being true to yourself. So I think it's really time for you to be true to yourself, and you may feel like you have to, like, I feel like you're someone too who like puts your needs aside so that way other people can feel more comfortable, but you also deserve to be comfortable. And it's time to stand in your power and know that you can ask for what you want and the right person will have no problem meeting your needs. Because I feel like your needs aren't even like, I don't think you're asking for anything too crazy or like, but it feels crazy because no one's been able to give that to you. But like, you know, your needs like for time, your needs for attention, your needs for like to have a reciprocal relationship, they can be met. And it's time for you to start asking for that. And instead of like asking in a roundabout way by doing something and expecting it in return, it's time to just be upfront about what you want. And then we have the 2 of Fire, which is the 2 of Wands. And this is all about making a decision and choosing a path. Like, I feel like this, have you heard the saying, like, 2 roads diverged in a yellow wood, and I took the path less traveled by? The path less traveled by is the one where you heal yourself. Because I feel like a lot of people want to stay stuck in these patterns, because it's easier than doing the work. But the longer you stay stuck in this, the more it's going to hurt. The deeper your wounds get, the less you're gonna feel so bad about yourself for a long time. And so it's time to take a different path than the one that you've been following currently. It's time to switch things up a little bit, and it's time to ask for help, and it's time to take that step forward. And then we have the Sun here. So this is really good energy. This is also Leo energy. So if I really feel like this is your key to happiness, is choosing the right path, is choosing to give it to yourself. And you will find happiness once you know that you can give it to yourself and no one else has to give it to you. Or in the sense that, like, I feel like you just want it from somebody else, but you have to give it to yourself first before you can be in a place to receive it from somebody else. Because, like, I feel like you're in a place where, like, your cup isn't full, that, like, you just have to work on yourself. You have to stand in your power. You have to have pride. You have to have self-esteem, self-respect, so you won't settle for things that you don't deserve, you know? Because, like, I feel like the past relationships you've been in maybe haven't been the best either. Or, like, you're finding partners that can't meet, you know, like, they just take and take and take. And, like, but once you're in a good place and yourself, like, once you rise above this energy, that will become so unappealing to you that you won't even think twice about telling that person, no, you're not what I deserve and I deserve better. And so I feel like it's really time for you to stand in your power and take your power back. Take that road less traveled by and really start pouring into yourself here because you deserve it. Okay. And I'm going to get an oracle card here as we wrap this up. This is messages from your spirit guides. It's a really cute deck. I really like the crane on the back of it. But when I got this deck too, like, I just, like, we're in the middle of winter and, like, normally we don't have, like, herons out here, but I just remember seeing, like, 5 or 6 herons on the side of the road, and I was like, dang, that's weird. And then I felt, like, guided to get this deck, and I was like, I didn't know it had herons on the back, and so it just, I don't know, it's like one of those, like, little things that, like, oh, that was meant to be. But what advice do you have for Libra in regards to breaking this pattern? What advice do you have for Libra in regards to breaking this pattern? Okay, so we have 3 that kind of just slid out here. We have the Pueo, which is the Hawaiian owl, which says your ancestral spirit guides are offering you guidance now, so pay close attention to signs and omens from them. So maybe you're getting signs about this, or maybe if you're a spiritual person, you're kind of like getting the nudge, and maybe this video is a sign for you too, that it's time to really start pouring into yourself, and that, like, relationships aren't, like, they're not working for you, or, like, maybe you're seeing something specific, or, like, if you ask for a sign, you will see that sign kind of thing. And I really feel like if you're looking for a confirmation, I feel like this is it, or it's time to ask for a confirmation and it will be given to you about this situation. And then we have Tortoise, which says you're too fragmented, so do whatever it takes to get grounded. So like I said, I really feel like your energy is like really scattered, and I feel like you're just really lacking in the self-love category. And so I feel like you're just giving too much to other people without stopping and like figuring out what you need, or like I feel like your needs aren't being met because you're so focused on meeting other people's needs, and it's time to stop that. It's time to get grounded within yourself. Like maybe go on a walk, like take like a 20-minute walk and just be, you know, and just hear the birds, look at the trees, you know, stop and touch a tree or something, and like just be present in the moment. And I really get like pray about it too. Like if you're a spiritual person, I would really pray for like guidance in this. I pray to like see the truth of your situation, and I pray to like just whatever you feel like you need, just have some like your spiritual team illuminate the path for you. Is what I get with this. And then we have Snow Leopard, which says take some time out of your usual life and spend it in solitude. Like I said, I feel like you're really out here searching. Like I feel like you're probably on a lot of dating apps, or like you're always talking to somebody, hoping that they're going to be someone who can fix you, and it's time to fix yourself. It's really time, like no one is gonna, like, it really sucks, and I'm gonna say this, and it's gonna suck to hear, but I've heard it, and it sucked to hear it for myself too. I just know it because I've been there, and this is not coming from a place of judgment. This is coming from a place of, I know how it is because I've been there, but I'm in a better place now, and it's so worth getting into that better place. But like, no one's going to save you. You have to save yourself. Like the love that you're looking for in other people, you have to give that to yourself. And only then can you show up healthily in relationships where you can give and receive love without it being like a means to an end, without you just taking and taking, or without you just giving and giving. It's going to be more balanced once you're able to give this to yourself. Okay, so that was kind of a heavy message. It might have been hard to hear, and I apologize, but I mean, someone needed to hear this, and I hope this opens a door to your healing at this time, because you deserve to be healed. You deserve to be happy, and you deserve to have good relationships, and it's time to take the reins on this, and it's time to make that happen for yourself. You know, it's time to have the reality you want be available to you, but you have to put in the work to get it. And I think it's time that you put in the work because you deserve it. Well, thank you so much for watching. If that resonated, please like and subscribe, but thank you.